Hi everyone, welcome to the Lens Community podcast. I nearly didn't film this episode tonight. This is so last minute, but I've been really busy and I really wanted to stay consistent. I nearly just recorded an audio version, but I'm trying to be consistent on YouTube and having like a video version for you all to listen to. So yeah, if you can see me, I'm currently holding a fork with my mic on it because it's magnetic, and I accidentally did it and I thought actually that was quite a good idea. So it just means I don't have to hold the little mic in my hand and I can just hold it like this. Again, not perfect. Nothing is perfect right now. Instead of a softbox, I've got my little LED light and it's blinding me. I usually have a softbox set up and it distributes nice, even, soft light. But no, we're getting harsh shadows. I've tried to place it so it's not creating too harsh shadows. But anyway, the whole point of this intro is just to say nothing needs to be perfect. You just need to show up in one way or another. I mean, I probably created more work for myself than I needed to, but hey ho, we're here and we're ready to go. So yeah, today's episode is all about the reality of having a inconsistent income as a creative. I'm sure a lot of business owners would relate to this as well, but this is specifically for creatives. So I suppose I want to talk about what it feels to have inconsistent income as a creative and what it teaches us. Why did my light just go off? Oh dear. Right, if it goes off again, it might mean that it's not fully charged. Is it working now? Yeah, okay. Right, if it goes off then I don't know. Oh. So this is, what I have to deal with on a regular basis. Things just not working. Before I delve into this episode, I would like to say that this week's just been just so much stuff has been going wrong. And it's just really small, irritating things. But they all build up. And it's just one of those weeks. We had a power cut. I've been waiting 3 weeks for my new license to come, and it's just popped back, and I have to resend the form. I had no storage, so I spent loads of money on this new hard drive. It's a HDD, and I organised all of my stuff, and it ejected itself. And it got rid of all of it. It's fine. I had the files in the bin, so I just had to reorganise it all. But it's just, it's just one of those where I was like, oh, great. And then I had to buy a new adapter, and then my phone charger broke. And just, I don't know, this week's just one of those weeks. And here I am, filming and recording an episode at 5 to 10 p.m, which isn't ideal, but hey-ho. Anyway. Carrying on with the episode. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how it feels as a creative to have inconsistent income, but also what it teaches us. And I know you might be thinking, what do you mean what it teaches me? It teaches me to be stressed, to not enjoy what I do because I am constantly thinking about money and how I'm going to make ends meet. Chasing payments up with clients, projects falling through, just all of these things combined. 1 month, you might be doing really well and you might be getting, say, 2K 1 month. And then the next month, you're getting next to nothing. So things can change up pretty quickly. As I said, projects can fall through. So, even if you've got projects signed on, client retainers, things can fall through and you just never really know what is going to come your way. But that is life. And what I've learned is that you can do everything that you can to minimize that risk, but you're never really gonna be able to avoid all of these situations and problems and challenges 100%. You're kind of putting yourself in a position where you are at risk. But let me talk about why that risk is important. So the idea that a job can be stable can definitely be challenged. Lots of people assume that employment equals security. We have this idea that a salary job guarantees a safety and security, and the opposite of that, freelancing, having a business, being your own boss, basically means the opposite and brings uncertainty. But guess what? Companies make redundancies, businesses close, and industries change. So, you're never really guaranteed 100% stability in anything. And basically, it's just doing whatever makes you happy and whatever you want to do. And there's always going to be cons and a downside to everything in life, but it's about weighing those up. And I think it's really important to do what makes you happy. I think my hard drive's making noises. I think it's talking to me. Like every now and then. Yeah, see, my other hard drives are disconnecting themselves. It's definitely the adapter. The thing is I've tied my self-worth to how much money I make. And that's a very dangerous path to go down, and a belief that can really deteriorate your mental health and the way that you see yourself with the business, but also without. So when business has done good in the past, I have felt really good about myself. But when it's done bad or it's slowed down, and not necessarily even bad, it's just, every business has those low points and those dips. And I thought that when things slow down or when things weren't going well, when there were problems, challenges that I was facing, when I was at a low point, I tied that to my self-worth, and I thought that I just wasn't good enough to be earning money or more money. When I was busy, I felt productive, I felt capable, I felt successful, I felt on top of the world, and nothing could tear me down. And I almost took a bit of a backseat because I thought, okay, cool, things are sorted for the next month. I've got work coming in, things are going well, and I would even kind of like neglect some parts of the business because I thought, oh no, it's fine, things are going well. And then the next month, things were the opposite, and it went quiet, and I didn't have a lot of work, and it felt easy. And I started questioning myself, like, did I do something wrong? Was I good enough? Especially in the beginning, I worked really, really hard, and I tried to please everybody, and I tried to make everyone happy. And when I wasn't getting the result that I was expecting, clients weren't rebooking with me, and I was thinking, why? Like, what am I doing wrong? And I turned it all on myself and put the focus on myself and thought, there must be something wrong with me and the way that I was doing business and the way that I was working. But the reality is, what I've learned is that they're two very different things. Our business and our self-identity, they're not always connected at all. Like, if our business isn't doing well, that doesn't mean that, that actually changes who we are and who we are as a person. Our working life is very separate to our personal life. Just because business isn't going well, that doesn't reflect on who we are as a person. And that doesn't mean that we're not capable of what we want to do. And that was a really important lesson to learn, because I separated myself from my business. As soon as I started to realize this and learn that I am also a person, I'm not just a working machine, I'm not just my business, I'm so much more than that. I'm a human being. And it's really important to separate the two, because just because a business isn't doing well, that doesn't mean that you're not doing well. It means the business isn't doing well. or just something in the business. There's aspects of the business that isn't doing well. What I will say is that sometimes, like, if we're neglecting ourselves, then our business can like take a dip, and it's important to look after ourselves because we are the core of our business. If we are the business owner, especially if we're working by ourselves as freelancers, or if you're just working by yourself in your business, you are technically like the core of your business, because, you know, if you're not taking care of yourself, then how can you take care of a business? How can you take care of anything else in your life? So that kind of goes for everything, not just your business. You need to take care of you. And what I've done in the past is just focus on my business and constantly think like, how can I just pump out more content, even though I know that I'm neglecting myself? And that isn't going to work. That isn't going to work at all long term, because you're basically putting yourself at risk of burnout, and your health is the most important. Like, if you can't function, nothing in your life can function at all. And there's no point in having a successful, shiny business and having all the money in the world anyway if you're not happy or healthy. So yeah, that's my viewpoint. So yeah, let's just normalize the different seasons of business, okay? There is no perfect business. Can we just get that out of our head? Like, that doesn't exist. Perfection just doesn't exist. And perfection is also subjective as well, because what one person might think is perfect, another person might not. So if one person thinks a business is doing really well, that is just their subjective opinion and what they're seeing from their point of view. We don't get to see into everybody's business. So how can we say something is successful or not without looking at the numbers or speaking to the business owner? Like, how does the business feel? It's not all about numbers. It's also like, how does it feel? Because in my eyes, a business is not successful if it feels like shit. At the moment, I'm taking a new redirection because I've come to a massive realization, and just one of those like moments where I realized, hang on a minute, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? It doesn't make me feel good. I feel anxious, I feel nervous, I feel upset, I feel stressed. Why am I doing it? And leading with, how does something make you feel? To me, success is feeling at peace and feeling happy, feeling calm, feeling like I can be myself fully, 100%. Success means something different to everybody, of course, but, I'm just sharing my opinion, but, some people might agree with me, some people might not. So yeah, let's normalize all of the seasons of business, because everybody has quiet seasons. Everybody has busy periods. Everybody loses clients at one point, and some people repeat clients, and that those same people might lose those clients at some point. And that doesn't mean that it's a failure. It's just, it's a season, it's a period, it's a time, it's a moment. And that doesn't mean that, you're a failure or your business is failing. It just means that you're going through a season. With social media, it's really hard because we probably compare ourselves to a lot of other people. And like I said, you can't really see into a business when you're looking at it from the outside only. You can't see into it. You can't see what's going on and what the reality of it is. And it's really easy to make it look like something is doing really well and something is, very perfect. But that is just building an image, and you never really know what's going on behind closed doors. So I've learned to not compare myself to anything that I see online, or just anything that I see in person or hear, or just, not until I think I can't really just assume something is going really well for someone or someone's life is perfect, because I'm not that person. And, you know, people can lie. They can say that they're feeling really good about something, but they're not, because they just don't want to be honest and they're embarrassed. They don't want to share that. And they're just trying to get through the issue that they're facing. They're trying to survive. And it's not a bad thing. It just means, you know, mind your own business. Let that person deal with it in the way that they are, because that's how they choose to deal with it. I actually really like to support people when they do share that they're struggling. I think that's a really good opportunity for me to like support them and talk to them about it. I guess this is what this podcast is about, is just creating awareness and sharing like my own experiences and how I feel, because you never know what someone else might be feeling or going through. And it's really nice to just be honest on here, because I am so over pretending that things are okay. I've never really been that person, to be honest with you. I've always kind of shared my feelings, whether that be through like art type form, different forms of art, music, painting, photography, YouTube, journaling, writing, talking to people. Like, I love just having these conversations and just being like, you know what? No, I'm not okay. And that's okay, because, you know, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. I could be going through a difficult period and sharing that, but it's like, I'm confident about it. Yeah, it's tough right now. I'm going through this, or I just lost this opportunity, or I just got this massive bill through the post. It's fine. Like, to me, it doesn't really matter, because I think I've just seen it happen to others where they're getting so caught up on what everybody else thinks, and nobody cares. Nobody actually cares, because everybody cares about themselves. We're so caught up in our own little world that we forget what's going on in other people's lives. Like, we would actually be very lucky for people to think of us before they think of a lot of other things. Yeah, it just so rarely happens. Sometimes it's just a passing thought, maybe, where people think what they think about us and if they judge us on something, but it's really not that deep. And we're not even promised tomorrow, so I don't care. So these are the lessons that I've learned. This is not advice, okay? I am just sharing my observations. So quiet periods doesn't mean that you're fading. Save money during the good months. Like, if you're having a good month, don't go out and spend it all, and don't just go and buy loads of equipment when you could be putting that in your savings or in your back pocket or investing it into something. Like, when you have a good month, save and put money aside for taxes. Don't be stupid with your money. That's something that I've learned. Yeah. This is a huge one. Build relationships, not just sales. Because I've had a lot of one-off shoots and projects in the past, and some of them turned into reoccurring clients, some of them didn't. Whether they did or not, sometimes I just didn't really value the working relationship with people, and I just saw it as another sale. And that's so wrong, because I worked with people that I maybe didn't fully align with just because I saw it as a sale. It's really important to actually, when you're working with people, think about how it makes you feel and put more effort into the relationship that you have with a client or a customer, because that is really important, and they're not going to come back to you if you don't value that. I value the relationship with the client so much more today, because I don't like it when it feels off. I don't like it when I wouldn't want a client to feel like they can't express something to me or not come to me with a problem. But I also want to make sure that that working client relationship feels aligned as well, and it feels like it works. And consistency doesn't always mean consistent money, because just because you're not getting a quick return of investment straight away and you're not getting paid straight away, that doesn't mean that you're not working. Because I spend so many hours doing things where I'm not really getting paid for it. I've got client projects that I'm getting paid for, but there's times when I'm learning new softwares or attending workshops or having texting with the client, having calls. I do set boundaries with this. But, you know, all of those extra things that I do, creating content, filming this, I'm not getting paid for this, you know? I'm not getting money for this. I do it because I love it, but it is working, but it's also not working. I don't really know what it is, if I'm being completely honest with you. But yeah, all of the little things that I do, like when I create posts for Instagram or TikTok, if I do YouTube long form video content, that is like comes under the business. Let's just put it like that. Yeah. That is still working. And all of those tiny things, you might not be getting paid in that very moment, but those things are building your business. You're still building it. And that doesn't mean that return of investment isn't going to come at all. It just means that it might just take some time. And you just need to stay consistent with something for it to work. I'm really hot, by the way. I'm so warm. Like, I've got the fan on, but I haven't got it on too loud because I didn't want it to ruin the audio. But it's very hot in here, so I apologise if I'm sweating. So yeah, when it's quiet, not just save money, but actually just don't panic and use that time to improve and to work on things, work on your business, work on yourself. Quiet periods are actually really important for growth and realigning. I think just like coming back to reminding yourself of your purpose and reining things in and being like, is this actually going in the right direction? Am I working towards what I really want? I love a quiet period as well, because when you've gone for a busy period, it can be very tiring and you need a moment to reflect on that busy period, what worked, what didn't. Use that time wisely. Do not waste it. Use that time to improve on your business and yourself. And choosing to build something for myself rather than building something for someone else. Obviously, I know that entrepreneurship, owning a business, freelancing, it's not for everybody. But I will say that I had a moment where I actually nearly quit and I decided to try something completely different. It didn't work out. And all it did was remind me of why I do what I do. And it was a very weird time in my life, but I'm glad I did it. And I'm glad I gave it a go, because it taught me and showed me the reasons behind why I do what I do, and the low moments and the risk taking is worth it, because it's what I want to do and it's what makes me happy really deep down. And sometimes we can forget why we started in the first place. And yeah, that's something that I've learned. And lastly, but not least, but choosing my peace and my mental health over money. Briefly spoke about it already, but yeah, choosing my own peace and mental health over money is really important. Now I know that it's a luxury to be able to do that. I see it as I've done a lot of shit that made me really upset, and I did it because I didn't actually believe that I deserved any better. And it's not until you learn to respect yourself and you start saying no to the wrong things and walking away from the wrong things. And walking away from the wrong things in terms of, you know, the wrong things are things that do not align with you, things that are toxic, abusive, environments that make you dread going into work the next day, or environments where you don't even feel safe mentally, physically. Just learning to say no and to walk away from these things allowed me to choose my sanity and my mental health and my own peace of mind. And I actually started to earn more working for myself than maybe I've worked for other people, because it was what I was destined to do. And it only happened because I actually learned to give myself a chance and to believe in myself and to respect myself and to know that I deserve better. So yeah, I don't think inconsistent income is the biggest challenge. It's actually, what's your relationship with uncertainty and not knowing what's going to come? Obviously, we have life's challenges. What do these moments, what do these quiet months and periods reveal to us about our relationship with uncertainty? Just because our income changes from one month to another, does that mean that our confidence should change? I think a good thing to do is to think about who you are when work is quiet, when things are uncertain. Who are you? Because just because things aren't going well in your business or you're freelancing, that doesn't mean that you're a failure. Really think about it. Who are you? Because that person should remain the same, whether they're productive or not. That doesn't determine your self-worth. Obviously, I know that, income and being able to pay for things is a real life problem. And you can't just sit there and think about your relationship to uncertainty. But this is like a good way to reflect and to work on yourself and how you might deal with those situations mentally with your mindset. I think the mindset work is really important because we can't avoid these situations 100%, but we can control how we deal with them. So it's definitely worth doing. Please don't rule it out. Please give it a go. And yeah. But yes, as I go in my new direction, I'll be sharing the income side of things and how that all works out and unravels. But I'm going through something very new. I'm entering a new direction with my business and with my content creation. So I will be sharing this in another video. But I hope that today's video was really helpful and valuable to you all. And I hope I touched on the most important aspects of inconsistent income as a creative. And I hope I helped in some way, shape or form. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please give it a like. Please rate the podcast. Please give it a like on YouTube, comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if you have any further ideas for future episodes or questions, then please let me know. Please leave a comment, or you can DM me at the Lens Community on Instagram. Thank you so much, and I will see you next Monday. Thanks, guys. Bye.